I came across you via YouTube one evening at work. Your matter-of-fact, no-nonsense approach to speaking your truth drew me in immediately. I can't tell you how much that means. It really does, because sometimes I feel like, I'm not really like this polished presenter, and I'm just saying what I'm living. I'm living this. I see this every day. My life is completely different, and I'm just speaking my truth, and I really appreciate these kind of comments because I know I'm not a polished presenter.
Yeah, it's a hot day. I'm hanging in the sunshine. You should hit me with the splash gun.
Hey, what's up? It's Case with Everyday Masters. I've been wanting to make this video since this happened to me a couple weeks ago in Brooklyn, New York, when I started my little reconnection tour. And I will say that this video is for my subscribers and for the people that watch my channel and know what I'm doing. So if you don't know what I do, you're probably not going to be into this video. But for those that have been watching me for a while, you're going to dig this. I think it's the perfect metaphor for life and how sometimes we're forcing life. We don't even realize we're forcing it, and we're attached to certain outcomes. But when we get out of the way, I don't know, everything just goes smoother. And anyway, so when I was in Brooklyn, that was the first time I was going to give one of these upgrade group sessions while I was on the road. And I had scheduled it at 10 o'clock. It was going to be my first appointment of the day. Then I had a bunch of reconnections afterwards, but it was going to be my first of the day. So as I'm getting ready to get a ride into the office, I go on Uber, and for some reason, I'm not sure why, but I hit Uber Pool. And if you've ever ridden an Uber, you know the difference. Uber X, they pick you up and they take you where you want to go. Uber Pool, they pick you up, and if there's other people that are kind of going in the direction you're going, they'll pick those up. I really wasn't thinking. I just hit Uber Pool, and so I jump in and start having a little conversation with the driver, and the next thing I know, he picks up two more people. And I started noticing how, traffic in New York sucks anyway, but it was really slow. We were just sitting there, and I was just like, oh my God, I'm gonna be late. I'm gonna be running late. And I checked my phone, and I'm gonna be like 5 minutes late. The longer I'm in that car, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be 10 minutes late. I'm gonna be 15 minutes late. And I'm just like, okay. And then it gets to 10 o'clock, it's session time. So as I'm having a conversation with these three people, the driver and these other two people, about life, what's going on, and just kids and things like that, I just open up my hand. And I just start bringing these frequencies in. So I'm kind of like this. Obviously I'm sitting in the car, but I just have my hand up, and I'm just making these little 1-inch circles. And it feels like a gyroscope. I don't know if you've ever had something, you just spin it and it gets the internal force going. And then if you go like that, you can just feel that momentum in it. So that's what I'm doing. It feels like I got like a 3-foot gyroscope in my hand, but I'm just making like these little 1-inch circles as I'm having this conversation with everybody. So on one level, I'm fully engaged in this session. But on this level, I'm having conversations with people. So in the back of my mind, I'm kind of like, wow, I'm present, but I'm not really present. So finally I get to the office, and it's 10:18. I'm 18 minutes late, and I just like to be on time. I'm just one of those guys that, I don't know, I was just raised that it's respectful to be on time. So I show up, and it's one of these doors where the key's weird. You got to stick it in and then pull it back like a millimeter and then tilt it, and then the key will work. So the whole time I got this little gyroscope going, and I'm like trying to get the key to unlock. So I'm like, and literally after like a minute, I'm like, okay. So I open the door, I get in, I start my little gyroscope back, and then I go in the office, and as soon as I open the door, the alarm goes off. And I'm like, oh my God. So I call my buddy, and the whole time I'm calling, I got my little gyroscope going. I call him, no answer. So then I text him like, hey dude, call me, your alarm's going off, I don't know what to do, I don't know the code. I know the cop's gonna be there. I mean, it's just, because that's why you pay for an alarm system, is so when somebody breaks in, the cops show up. So I'm waiting and finally my buddy called me back like 10 minutes later. He's like, oh man, no problem. Turns off the alarm. So I'm like, cool man. So I run upstairs. It's like 10:30. So I'm a half hour into this group session. So I go up, and as I go up, I'm taking my backpack off and I sit down. And then I realize I gotta go to the bathroom, man. Like I gotta go to the bathroom now. I can't wait 15 minutes. So I run downstairs, I go to the bathroom. The whole time I got my little gyroscope going. Get done, go upstairs, and now I can't even like be present. Now I'm thinking, man, I really need to email everybody in the upgrade group session and say, hey, I wasn't present, I need to add a date, things happened. I don't know, I just kind of felt like I let them down. I really did. I just felt like my job is to be present, and I wasn't present. I don't know, I just felt like I let them down. So I finished the session, and I got a couple minutes just to like eat a banana and like just kind of chill for a second before my first reconnection comes in. She comes in, talk, give the reconnection, and then she leaves, but my next client is running late. So I have a few minutes. So I open up my emails. And right when I open my emails, there's 4 emails in a row that say upgrade group session. Wow, they could tell. They could tell I wasn't present. And I was like feeling bad. So I opened the first email, and the email says, I never email you, but this session this morning was so intense, so amazing, that I just had to tell you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm like, wow, that's interesting. Wow. I go to the second email. Second email was from a guy in Colorado that I think he's been like 4 or 5 upgrade group sessions. And he had emailed me and he said, hey man, I'm not sure if I'm feeling these. Like I want to feel them. I want to feel them more. I mean, I feel a little tingling, but I want to feel them more. And so I suggested that, if he's being drawn to this, then maybe he would want to have his personal reconnection done. So I referred him to the lady that reconnected me in Colorado. I couldn't think of a better person to go to, besides myself, for a personal reconnection. And he emailed me back after the sessions. He was like, man, it was amazing. He was telling me all these experiences he had. But the point of the email was saying that this upgrade group session was the strongest he's ever felt of anything, including the reconnection. And I was like, wow, and keep in mind that I never get 4 emails of upgrade group sessions in a row. Like I get tons of emails, so they're always scattered through. I never get 4 in a row, so that was the second one. I was like, wow. So I get the third one. The third one says, this is my 4th group session. The first 3 group sessions, I felt nothing. But in this one, it was amazing. It was so intense. Thank you. Thank you for what you do. Just something like that. So then I get this 4th email. And this email, I could tell had already been written. Because it was in like 2 different font styles, 2 different font sizes. So you could see where it was not off the cuff. You know what I mean? Like it had been written, but then not sent, and then finally it was sent. But it was sent at the same time, right after that upgrade group. So I wanted to read this because it's kind of long. You're gonna love this. I came across you via YouTube one evening at work. Your matter-of-fact, no-nonsense approach to speaking your truth drew me in immediately. I can't tell you how much that means. It really does, because sometimes I feel like, I'm not really like this polished presenter, and I'm just saying what I'm living. I mean, I'm living this. I see this every day. My life is completely different. And I'm just speaking my truth, and I really appreciate these kind of comments. Back to the email. I signed up for the group upgrade sessions in May, receiving my first session on May 11th. I have experienced registers from eye movement to energy surges, colorful displays of fireworks to visions of family, friends, and aliens, finger twitches to shoulder rolling and arm flapping. My most profound session so far was in June. So this was like 2 months. So she started in May and this happened in June. I don't remember which date, but it was a session never to be forgotten. It started just like any other session, me lying in bed, covered by a blanket on my back with my arms by my sides, having the same registers and visions as every other session. This day was different in that at some point I felt far away, floating in the darkness of deep space. I've been there. I love that. I remember thinking, I must be in the field. My mind was drifting in the dark with billions of stars twinkling around me when I felt energy wafting. I think that's how you say it, wafting, from my whole body. It's like when you see the ripples of heat energy rising from a tar road in the afternoon sun. The energy heightened and a growing excitement was all around me. Suddenly, I gotta make sure my daughter in here. Hey, who's in there? Who's in the bathroom? The energy heightened and a growing excitement was all around me. Suddenly, the sensations were concentrated between my legs, and I realized I was on the verge of a climax. Confused, I wondered, am I touching myself? What's happening? I felt my pelvis lifting off the bed, my back arching, and I had the most intense orgasm of my life. As the waves of excitement subsided, I attempted to make sense of what just happened. At first, it was as though my body was weighted down and I couldn't move at all. My arms and hands didn't even exist at this point. A few seconds later, I felt them, but they were so heavy I wasn't able to lift them. That's when it hit me. The entire experience happened in the field. I assume, she says, and my physical body hadn't moved a muscle. What the fuck? How does that even happen? Was I in the field or somewhere else? Why did it happen? Why did it take until today to have another somewhat normal session? Is this common? Is it normal? One thing I do know is there is no normal in these sessions. Is that the first time that's ever happened? Absolutely not. Do I wish I could decide what the person was going to receive? No, but it would be cool to say, yeah, I'll have one of those 25-minute orgasms, please. And oh, yeah, sure, I'll sign you up. I don't know what's going to happen. But I know anything can happen. This is the part that I want to talk about, because this is what ties in with the first story with New York. Every session I've tried to participate in between then and now has been so hard. I feel like I was concentrating too hard or not enough or was too distracted to relax into it. I would forget and miss the sessions entirely. I just couldn't reach any level of feeling like I was in the session. This morning was more like normal though. I could feel the energy wafting from my arms and shins about a half hour before the session started. So felt confident that the time was right to get back in the swing of things. Do you see how it started a half hour before the session? This happens all the time. All the time. These sessions are beyond space and time. They are. If I would list how many emails I got from people or how many comments I got from people that said, dude, I think my healing started the second I made the appointment. It does. I don't know how. I don't know how. Nobody knows how. But this is what's happening. This is literally what's happening. I considered emailing you several times, but could never feel comfortable with it until today. I finally worked up the courage to tell my friends at work. I'm always afraid even my aware friends will question some of these things I've experienced. Lots of laughs. Thank you so much for offering the upgrade. Anyway, so do you see how when she had that orgasm, that out-of-body ethereal orgasm, guess who's looking forward to the next session? Guess who wants to have the same experience again? There's a little bit of force in that. Do you see how that goes? Like she says that the sessions after that, she couldn't get into it. There's so much, you know what I'm talking about. It's there. And to be honest with you, I think there might be times that I've kind of done that myself. And what I mean is I remember the first group session, and I remember exactly what I was thinking. And what I was not thinking was, I'm just going to flood these people with light. I'm just going to flood them with light. I'm just going to bathe them in this light. No, that wasn't what I was thinking. Do you see how there's like a force to that? Like, I'm going to flood these people with light. It's just like I can't need anyone to have a certain type of experience, because the second I need someone to have that kind of experience, dude, I'm not bringing them through as clean and as pure as I can. And apparently, I've let my maybe ego, I don't know, back. I let it back in the mix, because this thing in New York, when I was forced out, my ego was forced out, and I was just bringing these frequencies in, and I let the universe take care of everything. When I was completely detached from everything, but yet I was fully engaged with the frequencies. I don't know. I think there's something to be learned in everybody's life by we gotta quit forcing things. Okay, I know this video must have seemed like it was like this sales pitch for my upgrade group. But really, it was just like I don't know. It was just something that I thought you might be interested in, and it just reminded me my role and why I'm so good at doing what I do is my ability to not take myself seriously. And I think I started to notice me forcing it a little bit. Like, when I say I'm just going to flood them with light, dude, that's forcing it, and I will never say that again. I'm just going to go back to being this passive antenna that just knows how to be a really good antenna. So, okay, man, I hope you guys, I hope some of you dug this, and I'm going to quit mentioning my next monthly tune-ups, because I'm just going to do one every month. So, go to my site, www.everydaymasters.life. That's where the info is. Every time I post things and then I watch it, it's like it'll be dated in like 2 weeks. So, okay, man, I hope you guys got something out of that, and I will be seeing some of you in the group sessions, the monthly tune-ups and upgrade group sessions, and I hope you guys have an amazing week. Okay, peace and love to everybody.
If you're looking for some crazy, I'll tell you everybody's standing out of line for the water slide. You can come on over, we can take the roller coaster. And you know everybody's.
And then I started thinking, well, you know, sometimes when I'm getting ready to do these sessions, I'll think to myself, I am just going to bombard them with light. I'm just going to flood them with so much light. But, you know, there's a little bit of force in that too. I don't think I should do that. I'm not going to do that anymore. I think I'm going to do exactly what I did during the first group session, probably the first group session for what I do that's ever been done. I really think that I could be wrong. But anyway, my first group session was off the hook. There was like 500 people around the world and hundreds of responses that were just like, what? Hundreds of responses like that letter. And I remember what I did during that first group session. And I guess maybe I had slowly forgotten that I don't need to force anything. I'm not forcing. An antenna does not force the music on you, because I don't know, it's just the way I am. I do this when I do those sessions, even though we don't like talk and there's no Skype and stuff like that. Dude, I'm present. I'm there. And if you're there, then the session is going on. That's where you want to be, is wherever you're at.
On a wave of good feelings. Well, it's just another Friday in paradise. So bring your A game, 'cause you know this party won't stop. We could never run out of time, sipping strawberry lime. You know I wanna share it with you. Macy's going.